Okay. So this week we've been working on making connections, and you got your connection cap on, so you're ready to make connections. We've talked about these 3 types of connections, and today we're going to focus on text to text. We're going to compare 2 texts that we've read. So flip to the side that says Cesar Chavez. You've read and wrote a summary about this. Refresh yourself on what your summary was mostly about.
Regarding Cesar Chavez and his boycott about
3, 2, 1. All right, and then I want you to flip it to Marian Wright Edelman and tell me what that was mostly about. You're staring off in the face.
This was mostly about what Marian did to help people and kids.
3, 2, 1. So in your summaries, I was hearing a lot of important details about what she thought was important, what she stood up for. If you were talking about her siblings, that's not an important detail. So we want to just be talking about the important details, which I heard most of you doing. So today, we're going to make text-to-text connections. We're going to think about what's similar between these 2 people that we read. So we're going to use a Venn diagram to do that. Okay? So here's our Venn diagram. Victoria and Gianna, will you scoot to these red squares, please? We're going to put it right here in the middle. So the purple is going to be all about Marian Wright Edelman. And the orange is going to be all about Cesar Chavez. And in the middle, where they overlap, we're going to do text-to-text connections. What were the same about both of these people? So you and your partner is going to get a detail, okay? The details I'm giving you are important details. And you're going to think about, who does this describe? Does it describe Cesar Chavez over here? Or does it describe Marian Wright Edelman over here? And what goes in the middle? Text-to-text connections. Yes, so we're going to do both of those here. So, you and your partner are going to read what's on the card and think about, who is this describing? Who is this describing?
The text includes the year of...
Who's your partner? Brandon?
Yeah.
So when we talked about partner expectations, we talked about how to sit next to each other, and you are not showing me that you know how to do that.
1927. Yeah. So it talks about...
Good job sitting next to each other the way you practice. This is how we should be sitting, now that you adjusted yourself. Yep. You're going to think about where they go. You're going to get 2. Another one. Madison, let me give you another one.
I prefer Cesar Chavez.
Quote, you're looking for dialogue, quotation. Okay, so there's an example of an important quote. Is there an important quote on this side? So where's that one going to fall on here?
But it does say that he likes to read and stuff, but it doesn't tell that.
3, 2, 1. So now we're going to go around and you're going to read the card you have and tell me, is it about Cesar Chavez? Is it about Marian Wright? Or is it a text-to-text connection? Okay, so Maddie, read yours please.
Stop school at 13.
So think about who that relates to. And Maddie, what did you put?
Cesar Chavez.
There you go, that relates to him. Good. Sophia, what did you have?
Wanted to help others and text-to-text.
You got it. Matthew?
This is Cesar Chavez.
Can you read it so we can know what you're talking
United Farm Workers.
Ah, so that's the group he created. Good. Gianna?
Went to college. That would be Marion Wright Element.
Yes.
As after he stopped school at 13.
Very nice. Good. Ava?
That's fun.
Okay. Brennan?
This is a text-to-text connection. Started a group to help people, and they both help people.
And they both started groups. You're exactly right. Kylie?
The text includes the year of birth, and it includes both year of birth, so it's going to be a text-to-text connection.
Christopher?
They passed away, and that's going to be Caesar Chavez.
And I loved how you guys were looking back in the text to find the evidence, and you are all correct so far, so great job. Who else has one? Adam?
Gay speakers of the text-to-text.
Good. Riley?
Mexican-American Caesar Chavez.
Very nice. Madison?
I have African-American. I think it's text-to-text because they were both African-Americans.
Not quite. Not quite. Caesar Chavez was not. Look back in that first sentence of Caesar Chavez. Mexican American. So who's that going to fall under?
Marion Wright.
So look at Marion Wright. Yes, and she was the first to study African culture. All right. Who else has one? Alexis, then Gracie.
Wrote books.
Very.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to know. The text includes important
Very nice.
Mine says, believe the importance of education. I think that's both Marion Wright and
Very nice. Okay, any more connections left? All right. So you guys were able to list what's specific about Caesar Chavez and what's specific about Marion Wright, and look in the middle. Those are all the text-to-text connections that we've made with these two passages. So that's wonderful because you guys met the objective of what we were trying to do, which is make text-to-text connections. So right now, I want you to think about Caesar Chavez. Because a lot of you can relate to him. When we were reading this, this is the person we made the most connections about. Whether it was their Hispanic culture, whether it was his work ethic, whether it was about what he did, how he helped farmers. I want you to think about a question you might have about Caesar Chavez. What do you want to know more about? What do you want to know more about? Right now, just use your think time. What do you want to know more about? And then you're going to open your reader's notebook to the white pages, please. And that was something we should have brought with us. And I want you to write down a question that you have about Caesar Chavez. What do you want to know more about? What are you missing? What do you feel like you would like to know more about? And share that with your partner right now.
what his speeches were about. What he said. Yeah, I want to see
education did he give?
Okay, Brandon, what's your question you discussed with your partner?
He said, why does Caesar Chavez like to read books and he so hard trouble?
Okay, good connections. There we go. That's a great connection. If he's struggling at school, why does he like to read? Might have shown his growth mindset, too. Okay, Riley, what's your question you want to know more about?
Why did he do all of this?
Okay. What encouraged him to do all of that? He did, because he did a lot. Matt, what's your question you're going to research? Is it just one you think they're going to list? Why do you think they're going to list more than one?
He probably was in middle school.
Okay, yes, but there's also some details from the text that might tell us. He went to many schools. Downtown. Your question. Gracie?
Why did Caesar
Elisa, what's your question? Victoria?
Did his program work and change the farmer's mind and who made the rules?
Great questions. So, all of you have good in-depth questions that you want to know more about. And that's exactly what you're going to do on your research rotation. So you have a research rotation from Pebble Go Next, where the link is up on my webpage, and you're going to go there and try to get an answer to your question. And while you're reading, you might think of more questions that you want to answer. Okay? So when you go there, the link looks like this. Okay? And you log in, and you're going to read all about him. And it's going to give you some great information. So you're going to write your answers down where you wrote your question. Yes, sir?
In the book that I'm reading about Peter Thomas,
I can't hear you.
in the book that I'm reading about Peter Thomas said that if he spoke Spanish in school, the teacher would know the English.
Goodness. A lot different from now, huh?
That's right. Can we look up more than one question, or does it have to be
What do you think?
one question?
What do you think?
More than one?
If you want, absolutely. Okay. Are there any questions about what you're going to be doing in your rotations? You also have another rotation today that was just like the one yesterday where you're making text connections in your reader's notebook. You're going to be making those text to self, text to world, and text to text connections as you read. So be thinking about that and keep that connection cap on, right? Because it's going to bring all those connections out as you read. Alrighty. And head to your first rotation. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You may go. As the Lincoln's group, you may go.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, friends. So let's recap of what we last left off on and what we remember reading about. So you're still sitting here doing nothing and not being proactive. Come on, man. I need you to get your stuff and get ready. All right. And here I have some words that we might come across that might be a little difficult. So we're going to echo read them, meaning I'm going to read them and you're going to say them behind me. Ready? Cinders.
Cinders.
Squint.
Squint.
Starry.
Starry.
Crusade.
Crusade.
Wounded.
Wounded.
Strike two. World.
World.
Matinees.
Matinees.
Oriole.
Oriole.
Nation.
Nation.
Okay, so these are going to be some of the words that we're previewing because they're going to be in our text or we struggled with them while we were reading. So we're going to make sure we get those today. All right, let's recap. What do you remember reading when we last left off? What was happening?
Going around house. And then one day, teenagers came and pushed it over the fence. Teenagers did with a kid over a fence of Joel's house, and it let him fall into the gate when he was 6. Because whoever goes in happens. And the maniac came over and let on his porch like that, knowing about Joel's, not knowing about the scary myths. He calls him the whole time. I don't think I've written this song.
What do you remember?
Well, I remember that they dangled a scared kid over Finsterwald's front backyard, and then he was paralyzed with fear.
Yes, that's a good word. Yes, Arnold Jones. Poor Arnold Jones, right? And so Maniac's kind of new to this area, so do you think he knows about the myth of pick of the Finsterwall's backyard?
No.
No, he probably doesn't know about that at all. So he's doing what? What shows you he didn't know anything about it?
He just like sat on it.
Yeah, he's sitting up there like, oh, what's wrong? It's all cool. Cool times 10, right? All right. So we're going to pick up on chapter 6, and we're going to read practicing our good fluency, just like we did with our Reader's Theater at the end of the day. Okay? All right, Kevin, will you pick up, please, sir? Chapter 6.
About an hour later,
Mrs. Valerie.
Gwen opened her screen door, stood up and stepped and whistled. The whistle blew. Mrs. Pickle, who was one of all the time grapes. It reeled in every pickle kid poured dinner every night.